Hello you beautiful people, oh wait, I mean who oh my beautiful trailblazers. Got confused there for a sec, but lock in, because we have big news for you Castorice fans. Alright, so today, we're diving into the full kit reveal for Castorice, the upcoming 5-star Quantum Remembrance character in version 3.2. This character is shaping up to be one of the most unique units we've seen so far, featuring a summon-based playstyle with a heavy focus on HP manipulation. But what really sets her apart is Dead Dragon, her powerful Memosprite that completely changes how she plays. So, let's break down Castorice's full abilities, Dead Dragon's skills, and her signature LIGHTCONE to see if she's worth pulling for. Starting with her basic attack, Lament is the Dead Sea's Ripple. It's pretty straightforward. It deals quantum damage to a single target based on Castorice's max HP. Nothing crazy here, but since it scales off HP, it ties into the rest of her kit. Now, her skill, Silence is the Butterfly's Caress, is where things get wild. This ability consumes 40% of all allies' current HP, dealing quantum damage to one target and splash damage to adjacent enemies. And if Dead Dragon is already summoned, the skill transforms into Skeelclaw, the Doomdrake's Embrace, which consumes even more HP but turns into a devastating joint attack with Dead Dragon, ramping up the damage even further. If an ally doesn't have enough HP, their health just drops straight to 1. So this skill is definitely high risk, high reward. Her ultimate, Death's Roar becomes Renaissance's Bell, is the centerpiece of her kit. This is what summons Dead Dragon onto the battlefield, which immediately takes action and applies Lost Netherland, a field effect that reduces all enemies' all-type resistance. Dead Dragon has its own HP pool and takes independent actions, making it almost like a fifth party member. But here's the kicker, if Castorice's talent is active, Dead Dragon gets an even bigger damage boost, making it a serious threat. Once Dead Dragon takes 3 turns or its HP reaches 0, it disappears, and the field effect is removed. Now, speaking of her talent, Desolation that traverses her palms, this is where Castorice's entire playstyle comes together. She has a special resource called Stamen Nova, which charges up as allies lose HP. The max amount of Stamen Nova scales based on the total level of all characters in the party. Once it reaches full charge, Castorice can summon Dead Dragon with her ultimate. The talent also boosts both her and Dead Dragon's damage based on stacks, which reset after 3 turns. Now let's talk about Dead Dragon itself, because it isn't just a passive summon. It has its own set of skills and talents that make it a massive force on the battlefield. Its skill, Rend the Realm Beneath, deals quantum damage to all enemies, scaling off Castorice's max HP. Then there's Dim Scorch Breath, which consumes 25% of Dead Dragon's HP to deal even more quantum damage to all enemies. If it doesn't have enough HP, it drops straight to 1, but here's the twist, using this skill doesn't end Dead Dragon's turn, and repeated uses will enhance it further. If Dead Dragon's HP drops below 25%, activating this ability will also trigger its talent effect, Ebon Wings over Scorched Ruins, allowing Dead Dragon to deal additional massive damage before disappearing. But that's not all. Dead Dragon comes with even more mechanics to keep it relevant. Moonshelled Vessel is one of its talents, making Dead Dragon act as a shield for the team. When allies take damage, their HP can't drop below 1, and Dead Dragon takes the excess damage instead at 500% of its original value. This lets Castorice's team survive huge attacks while sacrificing Dead Dragon in the process. Then there's Desolation Broken by Bellows, which buffs the entire team when Dead Dragon is summoned, increasing their damage by 10% for 2 turns. And finally, there's Ebon Wings over Scorched Ruins, which is Dead Dragon's final send-off. When it disappears, it unleashes 6 instances of quantum damage, each scaling off Castorice's max HP, hitting random enemies. Beyond that, her traces add even more synergy to her playstyle. Dark Tide Contained increases both Castorice and Dead Dragon's speed when their HP is above 50%, helping them take more turns. Inverted Torch lets excess healing from allies contribute to either Dead Dragon's HP or Castorice's Stamen Nova, keeping her summon active longer. Where the West Wind dwells provides team-wide healing when Dead Dragon disappears, giving some much-needed sustain after all the HP drain. And of course, her Eidolons push her playstyle even further. Her first Eidolon makes Dead Dragon's attacks stronger over time. Her second Eidolon introduces a new mechanic called Ardent Will, letting Castorice offset Dead Dragon's HP drain while advancing her own turn. At Eidolon 4, she gets increased healing received for the entire team, which is huge for countering her own HP draining mechanics. And then at Eidolon 6, things get crazy. Dead Dragon no longer disappears after acting, and both Castorice and Dead Dragon gain quantum resistance penetration, making their damage output skyrocket. Now, let's go over her signature LIGHTCONE, Make Farewells More Beautiful. This LIGHTCONE is absolutely perfect for her. It increases the wearer's max HP by 30%, scaling up to 60%, making all of Castorice and Dead Dragon's abilities hit even harder. On top of that, whenever Castorice or Dead Dragon loses HP during their own turn, they gain Death Flower, which lets them ignore 24% to 30% of enemy def for 2 turns. That's a massive boost to their overall damage. And then, when Dead Dragon disappears, Castorice action advances by 12% to 24%, allowing her to get back into the fight quicker. This effect can only trigger once per summon cycle, but resets whenever she uses her ultimate, making it an incredibly strong synergy piece for her kit. So, is Castorice worth pulling for? Honestly, if you like complex, summon-based characters with a high-risk, high-reward playstyle, she's an incredible unit. Her ability to reduce enemy resistance, boost team damage, and function as a pseudo-support while dealing massive quantum damage makes her a powerhouse. However, since she constantly drains HP, she requires strong healers to keep the team alive. If you have characters like Huahua or Luocha, she'll feel much safer to use. That's everything we know about Castorice kit so far. Are you planning to pull for her in 3.2? Or are you saving for someone else? Let me know in the comments.